All right, folks, welcome to the Freedom Roast, where we go over daily current events and roast the basement dwellers over on Reddit. Today, Trump vows to punish the people who are indicting him on bogus charges when he's elected. Let's dive in. Donald Trump spends Labor Day weekend planning a revenge tour. Revenge tour! Sounds like a rock band's final world tour, doesn't it? But knowing Trump, it'll be more like a Rolling Stones tour, never really the final one. As Donald Trump's federal and state criminal cases are putting an unwanted legal spotlight on his business and political dealings, the former president is responding in predictable fashion, vowing to imprison his opponents. Unwanted legal spotlight on Trump, but Biden's family dealings? Crickets. The crooked Joe Biden campaign has thrown so many indictments and lawsuits against me that Republicans are already thinking about what we are going to do to Biden and the communists when it's our turn, Trump wrote on Truth Social Sunday evening. They have started a whole new Banana Republic way of thinking about political campaigns. So cheap and dirty, but that's where America is right now. Be careful what you wish for. Banana Republic way of thinking, you say? Well, if anyone knows about turning politics into a circus, it's the folks who've been trying to impeach Trump since before he even took office. In addition to multiple civil cases, Trump currently faces 4 criminal indictments, including one in federal court for his attempt to overturn the 2020 election and one in Georgia for his election meddling scheme there. Attempt to overturn the election, because asking for audits is basically a coup, right? Election meddling in Georgia, but no one wants to talk about Stacey Abrams in 2018? Interesting. He has consistently claimed that the indictments are unfounded and politically motivated. In another Truth Social post on Sunday, Trump alleged that the fake indictments and lawsuits against me, 8 of them, all come out of the Biden campaign for purposes of election interference. Politically motivated? You don't say. It's almost like there's a pattern here. Biden's campaign is the source. What a shocker, because they'd never play dirty, right? And yet, Trump's baseless charges don't seem to be landing. According to a Politico magazine and Ipsos poll from earlier this month, a majority of Americans, including 2/3 of independents, the DOJ's federal indictment was based on a fair evaluation of the evidence and the law. Yes, because Politico and Ipsos are the epitome of unbiased reporting. Let's just trust every poll we see, shall we? More voters believe Trump weaponized the DOJ than Biden. Trump's actions and statements in the criminal cases unfolding against him were rated far less favorably by voters than those of Joe Biden and DOJ officials like Attorney General Merrick Garland and Special Counsel Jack Smith. Merrick Garland and Jack Smith, the paragons of impartiality, because nothing says fair and balanced like the current DOJ. An overwhelming majority of polled voters, moreover, said they wanted Trump to stand trial in the federal election overturning case before the 2024 presidential election. Last week, they got their wish. Federal Judge Tanya Chutkan set a trial date for March 2024, just a day before Super Tuesday. Trump's lawyers were asking for a 2026 trial date. A trial date set just before Super Tuesday? How convenient and not at all politically motivated. Trump's Truth Social post isn't the only disturbing promise he made this week. In an interview with Glenn Beck last week, Beck asked the former president about his 2016 lock her up promise and whether he'd make good on imprisoning his political opponents if elected in 2024. "You have no choice because they're doing it to us," Trump replied. Disturbing promise? The irony when the left talks about locking up political opponents. Trump's just playing the game by the rules they set up. These are themes Trump has sounded throughout the campaign. During his first campaign rally in Waco, Texas in March, Trump said, "For those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution." At that event, Trump played a song he recorded with the J6 Prison Choir, a group of January 6 rioters imprisoned in Washington. Yes, the J6 Prison Choir, because nothing says serious criminal activity like a choir performance. Trump's just giving the people what they want, a soundtrack to political theater. None of this has appeared to dim the former president's 2024 prospects, both against the GOP primary field and against the current president. In 538's compilation of GOP primary polls, Trump currently holds a commanding 37-point lead over second-place Ron DeSantis. The first New York Times poll of the 2024 race showed Trump and Biden in a dead heat. The media's worst nightmare. Trump's still popular despite their best efforts to cancel him. It's like trying to sink a rubber duck in a bathtub, isn't it? Let's dive into this delightful piece of journalistic artistry, shall we? So, Trump is facing indictments and lawsuits, and he's calling out Biden for playing dirty. Well, color me shocked. It's almost like politics has become a contact sport, and the Democrats are the ones throwing elbows. Now, Trump wants to push his trial to 2026. Genius. Why rush to judgment when you can let the circus act of 2024 play out first? It's like delaying your dentist appointment because you know they're just going to find another cavity to drill into your wallet. And speaking of polls, Trump's got a 37-point lead over DeSantis. That's not a lead, folks. That's a chasm. It's like Usain Bolt racing against a toddler. The media's out here acting like it's a tight race. Please, the only thing tight here is the media's grip on reality, and even that's slipping. Oh, and let's not forget the lock her up promise from 2016. Trump says, "You have no choice because they're doing it to us." Well, isn't that the truth? It's like the schoolyard bully crying to the teacher after getting a taste of his own medicine. So, to sum it up, Trump's still the main character in this political drama, and everyone else is just vying for a supporting role. The Democrats might think they're setting the stage for a grand finale, but Trump's already selling tickets for the sequel. Now let's go roast our hypocritical friends over on Reddit. Whining about the weaponization of government, that is not happening, while simultaneously threatening to weaponize government. And his followers are too dumb to even connect the dots. I know a lot of people say we should not call them idiots and such because it makes them feel bad and won't win them over. But they are, in fact, idiots, and they're putting up with this kind of ish, or even cheering it on proves it beyond any doubt. The sweet smell of intellectual superiority in the morning. Nothing like calling half the country idiots to really elevate the discourse. Because, the best way to prove you're on the right side of history is to insult millions of people you've never met. It's the hallmark of a true scholar. And let's not forget, if you disagree with this enlightened individual, it's not because you have a different perspective or values. It's because you're too dumb to connect the dots. The simplicity of it all. His followers and Republican leadership, all who actually weaponized the government against Hillary Clinton with fake BS investigation after fake BS investigation, wasting millions of taxpayer dollars. Yes, the classic Republicans weaponize the government against Hillary narrative because, setting up a private email server as Secretary of State and deleting thousands of emails is just a casual Tuesday activity that warrants no scrutiny. But hey, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how investigating it is a waste of taxpayer dollars. Meanwhile, the endless stream of investigations into Trump, those are just the epitome of fiscal responsibility and due diligence, right? It's like a never-ending season of Law and Order Trump unit, except the plot never changes and the indictments never stick. But sure, let's keep that taxpayer money flowing for the sake of justice. Seems like a threat to me, but GOP will say he is referring to how big their red wave will be. Of course, that rhetoric doesn't fly since the their turn implies they are back in power. I can't believe a sizable portion of Americans are truly thinking of electing a man promising political reprisals if not mass incarceration of the other party. Okay, I can believe it now, but never before 2016. Seems like a threat to me, says the commenter, because, only one side of the aisle is allowed to use strong language or metaphors. Their turn could mean a lot of things, like maybe, just maybe, it's about policy changes or holding people accountable for actual misdeeds. But sure, let's jump straight to mass incarceration of the other party, because that's totally a reasonable interpretation. And let's not forget, before 2016, politicians were just fluffy bunnies who never, ever used strong rhetoric. The good old days of unicorns and rainbows, right? Stochastic terrorism. Stochastic terrorism, the two-word mic drop. Because nothing says, I've run out of arguments like throwing out a buzzword and hoping it sticks. It's like saying quantum physics when you can't solve a basic math problem. But hey, if we're playing the buzzword bingo, my next move is cognitive dissonance. Your turn. If you're as fired up about this as I am, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more piping hot takes on the Freedom Roast. Until next time, keep those mugs full and your eyes open. Much love, peace.